We have two lettings today, so we will handle those first.
Yeah, it's 1.5. One number, right? Okay, Mr. Bradley, we're ready? Go ahead
Yes,
with the,
go ahead.
this is for letting number 8739, federal project number CMAC 5417604 and STP 5417605
Actually, it's Jefferson Avenue, 26.
for constructing Jefferson Avenue 22nd Street corridor improvements. First bid is for Gershenson Construction Company, and their total bid amount is $14,129,220. 14,129,220.00. The second bid is for Ranieri Construction LLC. And their total bid is $11,587,495.85. 11,587,495.85. The second one is from RV Wagner Inc.
Third one.
Oh, the third one. That's it first. Second, sorry about that. The third one is for $13,023,260.88. 13,023,260.88. And that concludes the bids on letting number 8739. The low bidder will meet Ms. Helen Bryant in the hall, please,
After the second.
after the second reading.
What is the price of pound beef at 14 million cents?
Okay, I got one on the second.
Okay, so the second letting is 8740, project title Cervantes Convention Center Expansion and Modernization, Early Utilities Package, St. Louis, Missouri. And the first bid is, how many bids you got?
One bid.
The first and only bid Pavement Solutions LLC Their bid total is $3,732,733.63. 3,732,733.63. That concludes. Please meet Ms. Helen Bryant. Low bid, please meet Helen Bryant out in the hall for both of these letters.
That should conclude both of our bids for today, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. The next item we have to handle is a continued hearing. Continued hearing number 121989-RH. Hearing number 121989-RH is being conducted pursuant to section 26.100.030 of the revised code of the city of St. Louis. The purpose of this hearing is to determine whether to revoke the conditional use permit numbered 121989 issued for Gravoy Quick Stop, CO Abdullah Al Hachiyami, to occupy 3765 Gravoy Avenue as a convenience store with cooking, no liquor, subject to certain conditions. The parties have been notified of the violations of the conditions of the conditional use permit in writing by certified mail, along with the posted notice of today's hearing date. The hearing has been convened in order to address issues surrounding condition number 2, 3, and 4 of the conditional use permit, and the conditions in question are as follows. Condition number 2, any signage displayed in the windows shall not cover more than 20% of the total window area, and cigarette and vendor brand signs are prohibited. Condition number 3, the applicant shall obtain a permit from the St. Louis Building Division for all signage, and all signage must be approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator. And condition number 4, there shall be no sale of items that can double as drug paraphernalia, including food scales, blunt cigars, example of White Owl, Tan and Black, Swisher Sweets, etc. Glass tubes, disposable lighters with pop-off tops, steel scrubbing pads and screens, rolling papers, ephedrine or pseudoephedrine diet supplements, sleep aids, bath salts, or other substitutes for illegal drugs. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use holder will be given the opportunity to present evidence. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocation, if any. The testimony today is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in by the secretary. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board and not to those in the audience. The members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of this board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on the hearing. The board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced in evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the city of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional permit numbered as 121989 issued for Gravoy Quick Stop, CO Abdullah Al Hachiyami, to occupy 3765 Gravoy as a convenience store with cooking and no liquor, subject to certain conditions. Item 3, a letter dated December 19th, 2017, sent to Abdullah Al Hachiyami, CO Gravoy Quick Stop at 5862 Itasca from the board secretary, warning of the violations of conditions number 2, 3, and 4 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection, and providing notice of a hearing on January 23rd, 2018. Item 4, an order of the board dated January 23rd, 2018, where the board voted to deny revocation of the conditional use permit numbered as 121989 issued to Gravois Quick Stop, CO Abdullah Al-Hachiami, as the applicant had corrected some of the violations and was working towards compliance with the permit. Item 5, a letter dated August 30th, 2019, sent to Gravois Quick Stop, CO Abdullah Al-Hachiami at 3765 Gravois Avenue from the zoning inspector warning of the violations of conditions number 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 11, and 12 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days date of the letter.
Yes.
Item 6, a memorandum dated October 3rd, 2019, from the zoning plan examiner to the zoning administrator stating that on October 3rd, 2019, the zoning inspector found violations of conditions numbered 3 and 11 of the conditional use permit. This memo includes the photographs of the noted violations. Item 7, a letter dated October 29th, 2019, sent to Gravois Quick Stop, CO Abdullah Al-Hachiami at 3765 Gravois Avenue from the zoning inspector warning of the violations of conditions number 3 and 11 of the permit that were found upon a recent site inspection and providing notice of the hearing on November 26, 2019. Item number 8, a copy of certified letters dated December 31st, 2019, sent to the conditional use permit holder and the property owner from the board secretary, providing notice of a change in date of the hearing to January 21st, 2020. Item number 9, a letter dated March 24th, 2020, sent to Gravois Quick Stop, CO Abdullah Al-Hachiami at 3765 Gravois from the zoning inspector notifying of the tabling of the revocation hearing to afford more time to reconcile noncompliance with conditions number 2, 3, and 4 until April 14th, 2020. Item number 10, a letter dated March 24th, 2020, sent to Abdullah Al-Hachiami, CO Gravois Quick Stop at 5862 Itasca from the zoning inspector notifying of the tabling of a revocation hearing to afford more time to reconcile noncompliance with conditions number 2, 3, and 4 until April 14th, 2020. Item number 11, a copy of the certified letters dated June 14th, 2021, sent to the conditional use permit holder and the property owner from the board secretary providing notice of a change in hearing date to July 13th, 2021. Item 12, a copy of certified letters dated January 4th, 2022, sent to the conditional use permit holder, the property owner, and the property owner's attorney from the board secretary providing notice of a 90-day continuance so moved by the Director of Parks, Recreation and Forestry at the September 28th, 2021 revocation hearing and rescheduling a public hearing for January 18th, 2022. And item 13, a copy of the public notice posted for today's hearing. At this time, the board asks the representative of the Office of Zoning Administrator, please come forward and be sworn in. Gray,
Yes, sir.
can you swear him in, please?
Who's on? I don't see anybody on.
You do. Terrell Island, he's on.
Okay. Terrell, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Good afternoon, board members. My name is Terrell Island, and I am the zoning inspector for this particular case. I did the last investigation that I did before the one that for today was September, in which case the appellant was in violation of about 4 conditions. And I went out on yesterday and did a follow-up in regard to the violations of his conditional use permit. And I would just go through them one at a time, one item at a time. And number 3, it says the applicant shall obtain a permit from the City of St. Louis Building Division for all signage. And the signage must be approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator. So he did obtain a permit for those signs, 2 wall signs, a ground sign, and 1 window sign. And that said permit was approved on November 10th, 2021. Number 4, there should be no sale of items that can double as drug paraphernalia, including food scales, blunt cigars, examples of which include White Owl, Tan and Black, Swisher Sweets, etc. Glass tubes, disposable lighters with pop-off tops, steel scrubbing pads and screens, rolling papers, ephedrine or pseudoephedrine, diet supplements, sleep aids, bath salts, or other substitutes for illegal drugs. And upon investigation on yesterday, there were no tobacco products on display for sale at the store. Number 11, the property shall remain clean of trash and debris, and all landscaping, including tree lawns, shall be maintained in a neat and orderly appearance at all times. And to respond to that, the bush at the front of the premises along the parking lot that was not well trimmed, it has been removed. And for the most part, relatively speaking, the premises is pretty clean. And lastly, but not least, number 12, trash dumpsters shall be enclosed. There are no longer unenclosed dumpsters on the lot at the front of the premises. So he did correct all the violations. I went and checked out the store, and it's pretty much clean per the pictures that I took. You know, he's removed all merchandise almost. There's a few things in the case at the customer checkout, but that's about it. Are there any questions or comments?
So just to be clear, before I turn it over for questions, there are no violations as of your inspection yesterday.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from any of our board members for our zoning administrator? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much for your time, Terrell. Okay, at this time, I would ask if there's anyone who is in support of the noted conditions have not been complied with and wish to support the revocation, please come forward and be sworn in. I don't see anyone. If there is anyone, can you verbally address me, please? Okay, thank you. Seeing none, the board asks the conditional use permit holder to please come forward and be sworn in.
Mr. Bradley, my name is Jay Kanzler. I'm the attorney. Mr. Al-Hashami is on, but I will do the speaking if that's okay, just briefly.
Mr.
That's
Kennedy,
fine.
only swear
That's
to
fine.
tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Mr. Kanzler, go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Bradley. Thank you, Mr. Island. And thank you for the continuance to allow my client to come into compliance. As we discussed, my client would request at this time that the revocation be denied so that he may sell the property. He has a contract for the sale of the business, and I believe that business is going to comply with everything that the city would want. Of course, we understand that that business has to get its own conditional use permit and all of that. But at this point, so long as there's a violation or an open proceeding, that can't happen. If we go ahead and close out this proceeding today, then they are going to immediately move for the new conditional use permit and the transfer of the business. So that's where we're at, Mr. Bradley. That's what we would ask the board to do today.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kanzler. And I just would like to make a comment on behalf of the board. This has been a long process. I certainly want to thank you and the conditional use permit holder for your diligence. I certainly want to thank the zoning department for working together with you. The idea is to get things cleared up and hopefully let this gentleman make the sale that he wishes to make so that life can go on in everybody's world. With that, I will open up the floor for any questions from any of our board members. Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. At this time, if there's anyone else present opposing the revocation who would like to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. And I don't see anyone raising their hand, so please address me verbally if I'm missing you. Okay, seeing no one, the matter concerning hearing number 121989-RH is now closed and submitted The board will now continue with its regular agenda items, and we will deliberate after the agenda items are completed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rich Bradley, President of the Board of Public Service. This is the January 18th, 2022 meeting of the Board of Public Service, and this is a public meeting. And I would ask that only members of this board are allowed to speak unless recognized by the secretary or myself. Without further ado, I would ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Isom,
Aye.
Director Scogan,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Present.
Director Williams, President Bradley.
Present, we have a quorum. I will call the meeting to order.
For the president, recommendation that approval be given as follows. Supplemental agreement number 3 to PSA number 1221, retro commissioning assessment studies and design implementation services of energy efficiency measure projects at 4 city buildings with Energy Resources Group, Inc. in the amount of $160,000. Emergency work orders issued for the month of December 2021 by the Department of the President and Facilities Management Board of Public Service for emergency work and repairs requiring prompt attention. Port lease number 63, Grossman Parking, Grossman Iron and Steel, now known as Grossman Century Company, has sold assets of its business to Advantage Metals Recycling LLC, AMR, which includes operations subject to a lease agreement for parking between Grossman and the city of St. Louis. AMR has agreed to assume the lease, and the city of St. Louis Port Authority is recommending consent to the assignment. For the Director of Public Utilities and Safeties, joint recommendation that the following be approved subject to certain conditions. Application number 130665, BPS 21-000228. Request to adjust the boundary of land at 500 Prospect Avenue in City Block 2196. Directors of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that one application from AT&T be approved subject to certain conditions. Application number 129620 at 2224 South 7th Street. Joint recommendation that an application from Verizon be extended subject to certain conditions. Permit number 600-219 be extended 90 days from date of issuance, which was October 16, 2020. Verizon/XG Communications was ready to build this site last year. However, they could not begin until MLS Stadium construction was completed. But Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the board declare as emergency actions the following: professional engineering services for engineering study for alternative expansion joint coverage at Stacy Park Reservoir, masonry work at the Compton Hill Reservoir Pond, and the Statue of the Naked Truth. Director of Streets, recommendation that approval be given as follows: 2 ordinance to conditionally vacate the following: the southern 175.14 give or take feet of the 20-foot wide north-south alley, also known as Cavani Way, in City Block 4547, as bounded by Clemens, Clara, Entright, and Goodfellow. The northernmost east-west alley in City Block 3787, as bounded by Martin Luther King Drive, Albert Page, and Kings Highway, and also of variable shape and width. There are no conditional uses.
Thank you, Dre. But first, I'd like to handle hearing number 121989RH, which is for Gravois Quick Stop, 3765 Gravois Avenue as a convenience store with cooking and no liquor. We heard from our zoning inspector that all violations have been corrected. We also heard from our conditional use permit holder's attorney that it is the wish of the conditional use permit holder to get the revocation denied so that he can clear his record and complete a sale of his business. And so at this time, just to be very clear, there are no violations of any conditions. This has been a long process, as you can tell from the dates on all the letters and the evidence. But again, I do want to make it very clear that the conditional use permit holder and attorney worked very closely with the zoning administrator and her staff to get this resolved, and we definitely appreciate that. So with that synopsis, I'll open the floor up for any comments or any questions from any of our board members.
President Bradley, this is Hayes. I make a motion to not proceed with the revocation for the hearing that we're at today.
I have a motion. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second, Scobie.
And the motion is not to revoke. Is there any further questions or comments from any of our board members?
No, I agree with you, President Bradley. It's certainly refreshing, even though it was a arduous process, refreshing to see somebody come into full compliance after that long time.
All right. Can you please call the roll?
Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Isom,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams, and President Bradley.
Aye, not revoked. I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from January 11th, last week, 2022. Are there any questions or comments on the meeting minutes presented? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve, please.
Motion to
So
approve. So moved.
Who made the motion to approve?
Isom and Scoggin.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Isom,
Aye.
Director Scoggin,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Abstain.
Director Williams, President Bradley.
Abstain, minutes are approved. Today's agenda, questions or comments on our agenda?
Hayes, motion to approve the agenda.
You, is there a second?
Second, Scobie.
Thank you. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Davis,
Aye.
Director Hayes,
Aye.
Director Isom,
Aye.
Director Scogin,
Aye.
Director Scobie,
Aye.
Director Williams, and President Bradley.
Aye, today's agenda is approved. Before we adjourn, I'd just like to thank Director Hayes for being the pro term president last week in my absence. Is duly appreciated. So thank you for that. And also give any other directors an opportunity to make any comments or ask any questions they might have this week. Okay. Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn, please.
So
So
moved.
moved.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Have a nice afternoon.